Hey everybody, Andy here. Just want to talk about the season finale, episode 10, Ash vs. Evil Dead, the dark one. And I have a good feeling that a lot of people are going to be disappointed with this episode. I am for probably a different reason. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed with it. There's one thing that kind of I didn't like about it, and I'll get to that in a little bit here. But we start off with exactly where we left off in the last episode. Pablo has the face of the Necronomicon on his face. Kelly's trying to help him. Amanda's nowhere to be found. Lucy Lawless went down into the cellar. Or I think she disappeared. I don't think we knew she went down in the cellar yet. And Bruce Campbell's just like, what the hell is going on? Oh yeah, then there's the hiker chick who's screaming her head off. The beginning of this episode, that's where we start. All of a sudden Amanda shows up. Her and Ash have a good fight, and of course Amanda ends up dying in dramatic, gory fashion. This episode is very reminiscent, not only because they're in the cabin and they go down into the cellar in this episode, but it's very reminiscent of Evil Dead 2. There's lots of gore. There's lots of good scares in this episode. We really haven't had any, scary parts, or, there's a lot of blood, a lot of gore, and a lot of that sort of Evil Dead, but there hasn't been anything, really scary. There's a couple jumps in this one that got me, and some things that are really gross, which I'll get to, too. So, Amanda dies. Ash finds out he has to go down in the cellar. Pablo and Lucy Lawless Ruby have disappeared, and he knows they're down in the cellar because the cellar door is open. He decides he's going to go down there. On his way down, he falls, and he goes into a dream sequence where Ruby is there. She makes him an offer to, a truce. He stops pursuing her and lets her do what she wants to do, and she claims that she just wants to consolidate all the evil and rule them. So, it won't be as bad as it's been. She'll be able to control everything. That's what she claims is going to happen. Long story short, Bruce Campbell declines it. He goes down the cellar, he wakes up, there's a creepy kid there. This is kind of what I didn't like. There's all these creepy kids all over in this episode. There's a creepy kid there. He disappears. Pablo walks through the cellar. He finds Pablo and Ruby. And Ruby's making Pablo do things, and she's writing things in blood. I'm guessing adding to the Necronomicon. Pablo pukes up a kid. It's really gross, and it's kind of had me cringing a couple times because it was really well done, and it was just very odd. And he pukes up a kid. Kid runs up the wall and goes through the floor, and he goes outside or something. While this is all going on, the house boots Kelly out, and she's trying to get back in but can't. While all that's happening, there's a pretty cool sequence where I think her name's Heather, the hiker girl, the blonde one, the only one left, where she gets harassed and tortured by the house, and it slowly kills her pretty much. When she dies, the house spits her corpse out and it hits Kelly, and it's pretty gruesome, but it's pretty cool at the same time. Then it closes up again. Kelly's trying to get back in again. She finds gasoline, of course, and lights the house on fire. The house ends up letting her in. She makes her way downstairs. And right before she gets downstairs, Ash fights another kid. They all look exactly the same. I don't know if he doesn't really kill it, or if there's this house just has a bunch of creepy kids in it. I don't really get what the creepy kids were all about. Maybe the next season they'll explain that. I don't know. But he kills one of them pretty cool too. sticks the shotgun down his throat and shoots him, and then all that's left is his head on the shotgun, and that's pretty cool. So there's lots of cool, like, Evil Dead gruesome scenes in this episode. What happens after that? And then Ash goes into the room and starts fighting with Ruby. He shoots her a couple times, gets her down on the ground. Pablo ends up attacking Ash. When that happens, then Kelly comes, and Pablo starts attacking Kelly, and pretty much is about to kill her. And then Ruby offers Ash the truce again. Long story short, Ash accepts the truce, and Pablo and Kelly are like, what's going on? Because Ash steals the dagger from Ruby, and it's hurting her, and he's going to kill her with it. And instead of killing her and ending this whole thing, he makes this truce, and the truce is she lets him go to Jacksonville. That's the whole truce. Pretty much lets him. She just says, "Oh, you get to go to Jacksonville," and he's like, "Oh, wow, that's a great idea. I want to go to Jacksonville. I've always wanted to go to Jacksonville." And then he asks for like $10,000, and she says she doesn't have it. It's pretty funny. There's actually a couple of really funny scenes in this episode too. There's one where Ash puts like this hair dye in his hair before he goes down in the cellar. It's pretty funny. But long story short, Ash accepts the truce, and then it shows them in Ash's vehicle, in the car, with his RV attached to his trailer, driving away, and that's how it ends. So that's why I think a lot of people are not going to like this episode. It leaves you hanging. You know, shit's hitting the fan. Actually, you could hear the radio broadcasters like an emergency warning on the radio, and Ash just turns it off. He's just like totally ignoring it. He's so happy he gets to go to Jacksonville, which he could have done at any time. But whatever. So that's how this season ends. Ruby has the Necronomicon. Ash does still have the dagger though, so he's going to be able to use that next season. Ruby has the Necronomicon. She has control of all the evil ones. At least that's what she claimed she was trying to do. I'm assuming that's what happened. She has all the Deadites and everything under her control now. Assuming the house too. Ash and Pablo and Kelly are driving to Jacksonville, apparently. Pablo and Kelly just can't believe. They're like, Ash, you're a complete idiot. What is going on? They're just like two little kids in the back, just like, this guy does not know what he's doing. And Ash is like the happiest kid. He's like a little kid and driving a car. He's like, oh, I'm going to Jacksonville. And that's how it ends. So I don't know. It was definitely fun. It was a longer episode too. I think this one was like a half hour, maybe 40 minutes, and they've all been about 20 minutes. So you get a little more content in this episode. So overall, it was a really good episode. A lot of gore. Actually, there's some good scary scenes in this episode. Some strange, creepy kids for some reason that just kept coming back, and kind of an ending to the season. Cliffhanger, obviously, but that was Ash vs. Evil Dead, episode 10. Pretty good. Looking forward to next season. I guess coming out at the end, they should have a little promo saying it's Ash vs. Evil Dead is coming back 2016. So it's going to come back sometime this year. They didn't say when. But, so, looking forward to season 2 sometime this year. I'm going to have another episode probably come out next Saturday, where I'm going to recap the whole series. I might bring in one of my friends if you watch my channel. He does some of the other videos with me, and we'll talk about what we think and what we expect of the next season and all that sort of stuff, and kind of just recap everything and talk about it. But anyways, thanks guys for watching, listening. I will check you later.